Joining us right now exclusively is Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz. You've been saying this day was going to come for a very, very long time, and here it is.
And we're here.
And you're here. So one of the questions we've been asking, now we've spoken to a whole bunch of people who have an ETF like you. And we've been talking about the different fee structures and everything else, but what is going to ultimately make your fund distinct from Cathie Woods' fund, distinct from Grayscale, distinct from BlackRock, Fidelity? How should somebody who's watching this morning, who may say to themselves, you know what, maybe I want to buy one of these things, actually decide?
So I think in the long run, you're going to have two or three that actually win. I don't think it'll just be one winner, it'll be a couple winners. We have a ETF in Canada with CI Group, and we started second, we were second place, and now we're the largest ETF. And I looked last year at tracking error, because all you really care about as an investor is, does this thing track Bitcoin? We were less than 1% tracking error. Our largest competitor was 11%. And
Wow.
so all ETFs are not created equal. So what goes into that? It's your execution, it's your liquidity, it's the hidden fees, right? And so we think we've done this before. We've done it in Germany, we've done it in Canada, we've done it in Brazil. We know how to run a cash trade ETF.
So when people say something could go wrong, that's what you're talking about.
It's tracking error. Listen, today is going to be chaos, right? Because you've got 13 sales forces trying to pull in money. You've got Grayscale, this giant that lots of people are going to be redeeming from. And so at the end of the day, at 2:30, when you put in your redemptions and your creates, there's going to be
You just said there's going to be a lot of people redeeming at Grayscale. Why do you say that?
Listen, people bought Grayscale at a 30%, 40%, 50% discount to NAV, and with Bitcoin far lower. And so the chance to now get out at par, they're going to do that.
Mike, it's all before today. If you decide to buy Bitcoin, you had to be sort of ready to do some things. It's a lot of, I mean, you know the resistance I'm talking about from the average person. And they're everywhere. And I'm not going to mention any names, but they're everywhere. People that would never do it. You had to open a Coinbase account, or you had to get your own wallet, or you had to do it. Now it's going to be really easy to do it with $10,000. I mean, to put up 50 to buy a Bitcoin, that's almost not an institutional person, but someone with a lot of conviction. If anyone could buy 10 grand worth right now, and Cathie Woods says it's going to 750,000. So people are going to put 10 grand in and have 150,000 in a couple of years. That's too easy. I think you could make a case that the people that had the nerve to do it and step out and not be part of the pack that just were anti-Bitcoin, they've already made their money. Now, not everyone else is going to get rich now. It's too late.
Listen, the earliest adopters always get richest, and so in that.
You think it's going to 750? You can buy it now.
Her lips to God's ears. I do think over time, this will continue to appreciate. Do I think it's going to 750 in the next year, 2, 3 years? No, I don't. I hope it doesn't, quite frankly, because if it does, it means the U.S. economy has really fallen into a dire strait.
I just think the smart money and the institutions are in. Now it's going to be the bag holders.
What I think you're missing is this is a limited supply asset. You don't have a lot of limited supply assets. And there are a lot of people that believe in this like a religion, so they're not selling.
That's right.
And so
70% won't sell. So where's it come from?
And so you're going to drive price up as you get more adoption.
Short term, do you say to yourself, there's a whole bunch of people who've bought in the last 3-4 months waiting for this day to come? Do they sell into this?
Yeah,
do they hold?
I think today we could literally see 50,000 and 40,000 trade. We're going to see a lot of volatility today. Traditionally, ETFs mark the high, the short-term high, right? Almost every one of them has come out. Then there's a sell-off, and then there's the rally.
I imagine we're going to start seeing advertising, maybe on CNBC, maybe in the Wall Street Journal and other places, because all of these folks who have these ETFs are desperately going to need customers.
Yes. So listen, Invesco did a call in Asia with 90 salespeople last night. I imagine the other 13 ETF providers are doing the same thing. And so Bitcoin has always been about adoption. Right? You sold Bitcoin, you haven't bought it, right? You had to convince people. We call it orange pilling, hence my beautiful jacket.
Can you speak to the idea of consolidation among these players? You know, one of the things we were thinking about even around Grayscale, is that a company that ultimately, given their fee structure and the like, and given how many customers they have, that could actually be a valuable group of customers maybe to somebody else.
I can't get in their heads why they put their fees 5 times higher than everyone else's.
Right.
My guess is
this, that you
listen,
just gave.
ETFs broadly get sold by RIAs, and you got to go through Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs,
Right.
and it's a huge ODD process, due diligence process. My guess is Grayscale saying we're not going to clear that hurdle for all the reasons in our past, and therefore we're going to hold on to our assets as long as we can. And there's a lot of people that
So they're
won't
just
sell
milking
because of
it down
tax.
for the clients who are there.
That's my bias. I could be wrong, and I'm not.
Where do then you put a Fidelity or BlackRock in all this?
I think there's going to be a war between Invesco, Fidelity, and BlackRock. Those three.